it's like, like you said, the only way I can shock an audience anymore is not socially. I can't really get up there and and change. Like, I don't know what's going to be next. What's going to change from the leather and the hair and the makeup thing. It's right now that's what's happening. It's not probably my job to make the next change. But I think I accomplished what I was supposed to do. I didn't necessarily ever design to do that. It came naturally, and I was in a position to do it. So I think that's where all the effect of Alice Cooper really came in. Is the fact that we were there at the right time.
Did it amuse you what people's
Totally.
reaction
To even now it does.
It does.
Yeah, it totally amuses me. But the thing about the demonic thing is like I have nothing to do with Satanism at all. Far from it. Anybody that's playing around with the Satanism thing as a device, theatrical device, could be dangerous. It could be dangerous if you take it seriously. Because, I think that there's a valid Satan. And I think that if you invite him in, there could be lots of complications. So, I stay away from it. I've certainly never ever used any of his devices in what I do.
Presumably then you believe in God as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I just don't think that, I don't think I have anything to do with either one of them on stage. I've never had any upside down crosses or any kind of dealings with that, and I want that to be known. Make a total statement on that. Because I think that people are getting involved and are really just doing it because it's the last form of rebellion against society. Anybody that I've ever heard of that was into devil worship was, is too heavy for me. If they're really into it, they're just too heavy for me. I don't want to know about it. Maybe that's where my line is. I think a lot of them just do it out of fad.
Yeah, nowadays.
I think there's just too much. There's too much real evil.
Yeah.
To create more.
What sort of things are too much for you?
Well, I think real evil is when you look at the news and there's 55 dead people at an airport because somebody told somebody to open up with a machine gun because they were going to get higher in heaven if they killed a lot more people. I think that's nothing but that's a very satanic attitude. It's just, it's crazy. There's no way of fighting insanity. See, there's like when you come to insanity, you can fight somebody that's got an attitude that wants to do this, wants to do that. When you come into fighting somebody that's insane, there's very few boundaries left. But this guy believes that killing is fine. It's really hard to argue with that with this guy because he totally believes, as much as you believe that it's okay to go across the street and have a beer, have a Coca-Cola, this guy believes it's just that much okay to go and slit somebody's throat. And that's as much conscience as he has with it too. So there's the person that's really totally driven by, I think, a satanic force.
Do you feel there's no case for people who say that things like splatter movies and beyond show have played their part in lowering people's or diminishing people's feelings against violence? People are less revolted by violence than they were a few years back.
It's funny, I watched three splatter movies yesterday with probably 60 people got killed in horrible ways. I went out last night to Piccadilly Circus and saw some guy get his head cracked open with a board, right? And was much more appalled at it. The guy wasn't even going to get killed. He just got somebody walked up behind him with a 2x4 and knocked him away. Blood everywhere. And I was much more appalled by the reality. When you see a real fight on the street, it's not like Magnum fighting on TV. When you see somebody really get their nose pushed all the way over here and the blood really coming down, and it's much more disturbing. So I don't really think that I don't think that what you see on film and what you see on thing has anything to do with reality. You know? You know what I mean? It's like last night was much more appalling than all three of those movies that I saw. So I've always, you know, I don't think that movies or what I do on stage, what would be the word, like anesthetizes people against violence, you know. I tell my daughter, you know, I have a little girl, 5, and I've always told her, I said, whatever you do, I said, never be afraid of anything you see on film. I said, you can watch Poltergeist, you can watch Jason, you can watch Michael Myers, you can watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and realize that it's film, and that those people are paid actors. They get paid to play this part, and it looks scary, and we sit here and go, "Ooh, that's scary." I said, "What's really scary," I said, "is the news." I said, "Be more aware of like the street, real street, you know." And so she could sit down there and she can watch that and not be afraid of anything on film. I said, even on stage, don't be afraid of stage antics, stage theatrics. I said, because it's all just, you know. I said, be afraid of things when you see them that are really could happen. If you see somebody pull a gun out or a knife out on the street, I said, that's when you get away from it, because it's real.
Are you afraid to go out on the street?
No, I go out all the time. You know, I mean, I'm not really afraid of that. You know, that doesn't really terrify me. I'm not dumb enough to wade into the middle of you know. There's places in Detroit that I don't go, you know, like after 8 o'clock at night. I'm not stupid, you know. I'm like everybody else. You know, I don't go into the Barrio in Los Angeles, you know, without 25 guys, you know. we all have our areas, you know. We know where it's safe. I mean, I would never fly to Libya, or I'd never fly in the Middle East right now. I think it would be stupid for an American to do that, you know.
I just went Barrio.
B-A-R-R-I-O.
B-A-R-I-O.
It's like more or less the Spanish community, because they have more gangs there than any place. Yeah. And they're probably okay. I mean, they're probably not going to bother me in particular.
Just in case.
You know, but I mean, it's just not this. It's like inviting trouble. You know?
Don't you think there are people who do watch things like splatter movies and aren't able to differentiate between that and the movie?
No, because I think there's a movie like Friday the 13th. You know, in 3 weeks did $21 million business, which means it was the #1 movie in the country, and there wasn't any rash of any serial killers coming out doing that. People, you know, I mean, 99.9% of the people know it's a movie. If you have that 0.1% out there, we know they're out there anyways. We know that they're sitting at home, like with, you know, articles on pasted to their walls and just waiting, you know. But, you know, there's no way of getting around those people. There are people that are going to walk into a McDonald's with a shotgun and kill 12 people. You can't stop that. That's insanity. But I don't think they got it from the movies. I think that was already there. I don't know how to erase it. It's not my job to erase it.
How do you find women are afraid of you?
Huh?
Women.
I don't know. I'd like to think that when I go into airports, people still hide their children.
I mean, from a romantic point of view. I mean,
I don't think women are afraid of anything. I think women are very sexually adventurous, more adventurous than men are. You know. I've been married for 10 years, so I wouldn't know.
No. But I mean...
No, I don't think they are. In fact, I think they're more afraid of this, you know. I think everybody is wary of the Alice image, but I don't think too many people are afraid of me.
No.
You know.
I'll be surprised when...
It is funny, though. I do go into airports, you know, and sometimes when people take their kids to come,
So really?
like I'm going to do something, you know. And that's great. It makes you feel great.
Yeah. People don't forget.
No, they don't. They remember what the most startling things in there. You know, they remember. Do you really kill a chicken on stage?
Yeah.
You know, what's this I heard about? What's this I heard about the snake? And any place, if I had to carry a bag like that, you know, immediately it's like, you have a snake in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it ever bother you that it's unlikely that you'll ever surpass the peak of that, you know?
Anymore, I'm really not trying to go out there to, you know, I'm not trying to surpass the heyday. You know, I would like to surpass it only in one way, and that's in people coming, buying the album to hear the music of it, and coming to the